Year 2 and welcome to your Friday maths lesson for this week. So as you might remember from last week, normally on a Friday now we will be coming away from the unit we've been doing earlier on and focusing on number and some revision to do with number. Today we're going to be focusing on our addition and subtraction problem solving. So we don't need everything we normally need during our maths lessons today because our video is a little bit shorter and our activity is slightly different. But today we are going to need our work from yesterday so that we can mark that together. And then for your independent work, you're going to need either a computer or an iPad or a mobile phone, anything that you can access your Mathletics with. Okay, so let's get going with marking our work from yesterday. So yesterday we were comparing the mass of two objects. And on this first page, we were comparing the mass of Ravi over here with the mass of Hannah over here. Now, these scales were really small and certainly quite difficult to read. So don't worry if you haven't got exactly the answer that the book gives us. I'm going to start by looking at questions C and D actually. So the mass of Ravi is about 32 kilograms. You can give yourself a tick if your answer is between 30 and 35 kilograms, just because of those scales being very tricky to read. For question D, the mass of Hannah is about 25 kilograms. Again, if you got an answer that's between 22 kilograms and 30 kilograms here, then you can give yourself a tick. So for question A, we should have got Ravi is heavier. And for question B, we should have got Hannah is lighter. And then question E and F, we were working out how much heavier Ravi is than Hannah. So we needed to find the difference between 32 kilograms and 25 kilograms. And we should have got 7 kilograms as our answer. You might have worked it out by counting on from 25 to 32, or you might have used subtraction like I showed you yesterday, and you might have done 32 subtract 25 to give you 7 kilograms. So Ravi is 7 kilograms heavier than Hannah. And then the last one, F, Hannah is 7 kilograms lighter than Ravi. Well done. Okay, and then on the second page, we were comparing the mass of the tomatoes with the mass of the carrots. And this time the numbers were a little bit clearer and the scales were a little bit easier to read, which was very good news. So question A, we should have got the tomatoes are heavier, and we can see that straight away because over here the point has gone past that 100 gram mark, and with the carrots it is pointing at a number before the 100 gram mark. So the tomatoes are heavier. Question B, we should have got the carrots are lighter. Question C, the mass of the tomatoes is about 120 grams. If you have written 110, 120 or 130 grams, give yourself a tick. Hopefully we spotted that those smaller marks are worth 10. So each line is 10. So 100, add 10 is 110, add another 10 is 120. Question D, we should have got the mass of the carrots is about 70 grams. Again, I worked that one out by looking at that mark between the 0 and the 100. I know that halfway between those two is 50 grams, and then I can count on in tens from 50, 2 marks on, which takes me to 70 grams. Again, if you got 60 or 80 grams, give yourself a tick as well. Question E, the carrots are 50 grams lighter than the tomatoes. Question F, the tomatoes are 50 grams heavier. And again, like on the previous page, here you were finding that difference again. So you may have counted on from 70 to 120 to give you 50 grams, or you might have done 120 subtract 70 to give you 50 grams. Well done, everyone. Okay, and on to yesterday's challenges next. Really well done if you had a go at these. So the first one said 5 children used cubes to balance one of their shoes. This table shows the number of cubes they needed. So Roma needed 16 cubes, Tina needed 13, Gareth needed 18, Ali needed 20, Susan needed 15. And the first question asked us, whose shoe is heaviest? So here we should have been looking for the largest number, which was 20. So Ali's shoe was heaviest. Question B said, whose shoe is 2 cubes lighter than Gareth's shoe? So first of all, we needed to look at Gareth, whose shoe weighed 18 cubes. And to find 2 less, or 2 cubes lighter, we should have subtracted 2 from 18, which should give us 16, which means that Roma's shoe was 2 cubes lighter than Gareth's. And then the second challenge we set for you yesterday was something a bit more practical and an investigation for you to try at home. So we asked you to have a go at using some scales to measure 3 objects from around your home. I did this investigation too, and as you can see, I weighed an orange, I weighed a highlighter, and I weighed some glasses which actually belong to my dad. I hope he didn't mind me borrowing them. And I wrote down 3 comparison sentences once I had weighed them all on the scale. And you can just about see how much they weighed. I know the pictures are slightly dark, but the orange weighed 59 grams, the highlighter weighed 18 grams, and the glasses weighed 35 grams. So my comparison sentences said the highlighter is the lightest, the orange is greater than the glasses, and lastly, the glasses are greater than the highlighter. So a really big well done if you had a go at investigating that. Okay, super, let's get going with our learning for today. As I said at the start, today's learning is all about revision of number. And we're going to start by revising part-whole models like this one. Now, the number at the top, 55, is my whole number. The 2 parts at the bottom make the whole number at the top. Now, I've got the number 41 here, but I'm missing this second part, and we want to work out which number goes in here. Is it 14, 16, or 13? Now, these 2 parts, as I said, make up the whole number. So that means I know that 41 add something equals 55. Now, there are 2 different ways I could find this part. The first thing I could do is count on. And to count on, I would start from 41 and count on until I got to 55, which is my whole number I'm trying to make. Now, I can see when I look at the number 41 that when I add 9 more, I land on 50. And then I only need to add 5 more to get to 55. So in total, we've counted on 14 because 9 add 5 equals 14. So I know that 41 add 14 equals 55. The second way I could have found that missing part would be by finding the difference. This time, instead of counting on and using addition, I could use subtraction, and I have used it down here. This time I did 55, the whole number, subtract 41. Now I'm subtracting two-digit numbers. So I could have used the column method, which I know lots of you really like to use when you're adding or taking away two-digit numbers. But instead, I decided to partition my numbers into tens and ones. So first of all, I subtracted my tens. So I did 50 subtract 40, which gave me 10. Then I subtracted my ones. I did 5 subtract 1, which equals 4. And when I put my tens and ones together, I get 14 as my answer. And there we have it. We've solved this part-whole model, and we've made the whole number 55 by adding 41 and 14 together. Okay, let's have another go at a different part-whole model. Now we know what to do. This time, the whole number we're making is 93, and one of the parts is 12, and we want to know what this other part is. And as we said before, we know that these two parts make 93. So we're trying to find 12, add something to give us 93 altogether. And we've got three options. We've got 72, 81 or 71. Now you might notice that the numbers this time are a bit larger, and the whole number we're making is 93, which is a large number, and it's going to be a little bit quicker for me and easier for me to find the difference between 93 and 12 rather than counting on all the way from 12 up to 93. So to find the difference, my number sentence says 93 subtract 12, which equals 81. And to get 81, I did the same as I did last time, and I partitioned my numbers into tens and ones. So first I subtracted the tens. I did 90 take away 10, which equals 80. Then I subtracted the ones. 3 take away 2, which equals 1. And when I put my tens and ones together, I get 81 as my answer. So I can write in 81 as this part of the whole part model. Part-whole model, I should say. Now, for this one, if you had wanted to, you could have used the column method, like I said before, because you've got two-digit numbers. But I thought it'd be a bit speedier for me to partition this time. Super, hopefully you're feeling nice and confident about your part-whole models now. The second part of our revision today is looking at word problems involving addition and involving subtraction. So let's read this first word problem together, and then I'm going to show you two different ways you could find your answer. It says, John buys 12 pencils. He gives 7 pencils to his friend. How many pencils does he have left? Now I'd like you to pause the video just for a moment and talk to your partner about whether or not you think this question is asking us to subtract or to add to find our answer. Okay, hopefully you decided that because he gave 7 pencils away, that we need to subtract, and we need to do 12, take away the pencils he gave away, which was 7, and we get 5. 12 take away 7 equals 5. There were two different ways to get this answer. First of all, we could have counted on from 7 to 12 by counting in ones. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And in total, we did 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer was 5. The second way we could have found the answer this time was by subtracting instead. So First of all, I did 12 take away 2 because I know 12 take away 2 equals 10. That's nice and quick for me. And then I need to take away 5 more because I'm taking away a total of 7, remember? So I did 10 take away 5 to give me 5 pencils left over. Great, and now we've got one more word problem we're going to look at together today. It goes like this. A photographer takes 15 photos in the morning. She takes another 12 photos in the afternoon. How many photos does she take all together? Now this time I'm going to tell you straight away that I know I need to do an addition here to find my answer. And the clue is in all together. We know that all together is the same as total, which means we are adding. So our number sentence should have said 15 add 12. And I got 27 as my answer. Again, there's more than one way that you could have found the answer of 27. First way I used was partitioning. So I partitioned my numbers into tens and ones. I did 10 add 10, which gives me 20. That's nice and simple for me. Then I added my ones. So I did 5 add 2, which gave me 7. And then I put my tens and my ones together by doing 20 add 7, which gave me 27 photos all together. And as I said on the last one, we could have used the column method here because we've got two-digit numbers. We're adding 15 and 12. So I could have written it very neatly into 2 columns, added my ones first, 5 add 2, which is 7, and then added my tens. 1 add 1, which was 2, 20 tens altogether to give me 27. So she takes 27 photos all together. Okay, so now we've had a bit of a whistle-stop tour through some revision of part-whole models using partitioning and word problems using addition and subtraction. I would like you to complete 2 different activities on Mathletics today. The first one is called Partition Puzzles 1 and the second one is called Word Problems, Add and Subtract. And it should really only take you 30 minutes maximum. There is also a challenge today if you'd like to really push yourself and be a little bit ambitious. So I'll talk about that next. But otherwise, all you need to do is log on to your Mathletics in the same way you normally do. And those 2 tasks have been set by me or by Miss Cagney for you to complete today. Please do upload it onto Dojo if you'd like to. You could leave us a little message or a photo of you doing your Mathletics. Either one would be great. Good luck. Okay, finally, this is your challenge for today, Year 2. So in this challenge, you are solving some more word problems. However, these word problems are 2-step word problems, which means that you're going to need to use more than one operation to get that final answer. So there are 6 different word problems here, and you are very likely to have to use addition and subtraction to be able to find one answer. I'm going to give you 2 helpful little hints. The first of which is as you read the word problem, it would be really helpful to underline the important information, which is most likely going to be those numbers in there. And my second helpful hint is to make sure you have some kind of piece of paper next to you where you can write down all of your working out, your number sentences and your answers. And then if you'd like to, please do upload this challenge onto Dojo because we would love to see your ambitious maths today. Best of luck.